Hi, I'm Stacie-Rae. Welcome back to everything you ever wanted to know about nipple tattoos. This is episode 2, October 1st, 2018. Today we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, last week we talked a little bit about to nipple or not to nipple, making the decision to get your breast tattooed after a mastectomy. It can be pretty daunting. There's a lot to consider if you're thinking about how to beautify yourself on your terms after a mastectomy. So last week we touched base on, is this choice even right for you? And today we're going to talk about, if this choice is right for you, what do you need to know about it? So I've compiled the good, the bad, and the ugly facts about what to consider if you're going to have your nipples tattooed. The good is that you can change your entire way of seeing things. If you have had your breasts removed and your nipples removed with them, you're left behind with some scars. And tattooing can do a lot to help you love your body again. And tattooing by an expert is really the only way to get there. So the good is, if something has been removed from your body, something very important. The good is, if your nipples have been removed due to a mastectomy and you are left with only scars, having the nipple areola complex placed back on there permanently can really make you feel like nothing's been taken away at all. It can make you feel like you've never even been through this, because when you look in the mirror and you see a semblance of wholeness, then you do not question that you've never been whole. And for the ladies out there that have had mastectomies, who have had their breasts removed, you know how tough that is, how hard it is to deal with. Your newly changed body can be really quite unfamiliar. It can be really hard to connect with yourself and to feel good about yourself because you don't recognize what you're seeing in the mirror. And that's where tattoos come in. You see, when I talk about the ethereal body, what I'm talking about is our expectations of what our body should look like, as well as the spiritual part of that, the emotional part of expecting to see nipples, because we're programmed to recognize our body as a complete entity. And when something is removed, it really screws with our programming. If you have had your breasts removed and your nipples removed with them, you're left behind with some scars. And tattooing can do a lot to help you love your body again. It can really just make you feel like everything is fine and it always has been fine. It's very important for us to feel like that, so you can really close the chapter and move on, finally. Put the whole thing behind you. It must have been a dream. And a good experience with a heart-centered tattooer can help you release any trauma that you might be holding in that place of nurturing. Please excuse my lips. I got my lips tattooed a couple days ago. I never thought I would, and I did. And now I've got I'm having a little problem healing right there, and I still said that I would put this out, so here I am. A heart-centered tattooer can leave you excited for the next stage of your journey and ready to really move on. Okay, on to the bad parts of this tattooing. This is a little bit of an expose, but the offenders don't really know what they're doing wrong, so we can't really fault anybody. The doctors who do tattoos just really think that it's easy, and it's not. And the nurses, they're just trying to help their patients move on. The challenge is that the way that things are being done is still kind of archaic and in the dark ages. Nurses and doctors usually offer nipple tattooing, and it's often covered by either taxes or insurance. Medical professionals are not regulated and are not required to take proper training for tattooing. Somebody who's taken the training that a medical professional has for tattooing would not ever be employable in a tattoo shop. There is no way that with the little bit of training that they receive that they could get a job as a tattooer. And this is where we have to really point out some differences in your practitioner. Because I'm not going to go and do surgery. Now, because I took a first aid course does not mean that I'm a first responder. I expect the same kind of respect for clients from surgeons and doctors. Just because you took maybe a one-day course to do tattoos does not make you a tattooer. And we know you're doing your best and you do beautiful surgery. So why don't we just alleviate the burden, and us tattooers will do the tattooing and leave you to make these women look amazing. And then we'll come along and we'll put the pro cherry on top that really, really, really flatters your beautiful reconstruction, whatever it is. Doctors and surgeons aren't required to have any kind of understanding of art or color. Medical professionals are using equipment that is not really designed to penetrate scar tissue and are unknowingly causing even more harm to this delicate, fragile, irradiated, and reconstructed tissue. They don't know any better. They can't see the red flags that we see. They don't know what to look for in the difference in texture to know if you're causing more damage. This is a problem. This is a problem. The training that I took here in Canada is the go-to place for any medical professional to learn how to do medical tattooing. And they aren't even required to hold a tattoo machine, which means they are practicing on the survivors. Practicing on the survivors. They haven't had any training on depth, hand speed, technique, or angles. The nurses that I've spoken to about this, some of them are defensive, some of them are horrified, and they all keep doing it. They all continue to do this tattooing. Also, none of the nurses that I've spoken to have bought my book, which could help them. Medical professionals are also using pigments that are designed to change and fade. A poorly executed nipple tattoo can be a daily reminder of what you've been through, of what was lost, what's been taken away, and it can really give you a feeling of being less than, or not complete, or not whole, or not beautiful. Seeing the scars, and only the scars, can keep you in a mindset that something is just missing, that something isn't there. This is very important to consider, because to fully move on from any type of trauma, we have to feel that we're strong and whole again. And if we don't have the sense of strength that comes from wholeness, then maybe we don't feel quite equipped to move on to the next chapter of our life. A reminder of what you've been through can keep you stuck in the pain and trauma, unable to emotionally move beyond it. Every time you notice your scars, you may subconsciously be reliving your trauma. The ugly, negative body dysmorphia. People who have body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, think about their real or perceived flaws for hours a day. They can't control their negative thoughts and don't believe it when people tell them they look great. You can tell them over and over again, but if they have latched on to that flaw, real or perceived, there is no telling them otherwise. These thoughts may cause severe emotional distress and interfere with their daily functioning. They can cause depression, self-hatred. They can be extremely preoccupied with this flaw or this idea of a flaw. It doesn't matter if others can't see it or if it appears minor. If the survivor sees it, it can really hold them back from happiness. They may hold a very strong belief that they have a defect or a disfigurement, that their appearance makes them ugly or deformed. Having these thoughts can make you feel like you're unlovable. Having these thoughts can stop you from loving yourself. This is something we really need to consider. It's time that we prioritize the look better, feel better idea. A breast without nipples is not considered sexual by society. Women who have gone through breast cancer and a mastectomy are desexualized in the process. Some of these women may be afraid to be resexualized by tattooing. Are you one of them? Are you ready to embrace your sexuality, your beauty, your feminine magic, your divine feminine, your inner goddess? Because there's a sense of safety in feeling less than. There's a comfort in disconnecting from our sexuality, but it also robs us of the fullness of the human experience. Survivor's guilt is a real thing. And I think that some survivors almost want to feel a little bit of pain every day. Not in the sense that they want to suffer. Scars can remind you that you beat whatever tried to kill you. They can be the mark of a powerful warrior. It's the cost of being alive. My message for today is let doctors doctor and let tattooers tattoo. while there is a strength and power in reminding yourself of what you've been through, how far you've come, and what you've overcome, when you see those scars and relive that trauma, I'm here to say you can release that pain. It does not make you any less of a warrior or a goddess. What it does is it gives you a chance to empower the next stage of your life on your own terms. And believe me, you deserve to feel great about that.